Yeah, so now we are going to continue the materials and we are going to discuss about the listening part B and part C. So we will discuss the two parts together, yep, because they have got the same tips and strategies. I hope everybody is ready to receive materials. Anyway, before we start, so previously we were discussing about the part A. Where do you find any difficulties in part A, guys? Ada masalah dengan part A-nya? Ya, if I can see, ya jadi sebelum kita pindah ada yang mau curhat tidak? Do you want to share something about your problem in part A?
Kadang masih bingung, Mister, bedain idiom sama yang pasif-pasif itu.
Yep. Okay, well. So yesterday I sent you the idiomatic expressions. Ada yang collocation, yang pakai collocation, yang kolokasi, yang dua huruf atau tiga huruf. So misalnya pakai misalnya kayak call off, ya kemarin call off artinya cancel, kemudian call on. Kalau call on, jadi kadang kata kerja kalau diikuti preposisi dia dengan preposisi yang berbeda, the meaning will be different. Misalnya call off, misalnya kan dia bilang artinya cancel. Kalau misalnya call on, itu call on artinya visit ya. Jadi I will call on you sometime. Sama dengan count on. You can count on me. Kata count, kalau dia sendiri artinya menghitung, but when you put preposition on, maka dia berarti count on. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3. Jadi count on artinya lean on, mengandalkan ya, sama dengan lean on, rely on. Jadi how to handle these cases? I think you should memorize, guys. Jadi teman-teman harus menghafal dan harus banyak baca ya. You need to read a lot. Harus banyak baca. Nah kemarin saya kirimkan itu contoh-contoh atau kata sinonim yang terdiri dari 2 atau 3 kata dan yang terdiri dari kalimat ya. Kalimat misalnya when you say you miss the boat, it means that you miss the opportunity ya. So we are in the same boat means we have the same problem. Jadi ada semua di situ. Jadi tolong dibaca. Kemudian biasanya kalau dibaca satu kali you don't understand it yet, belum dipahami secara sepenuhnya. Dibaca berkali-kali, at least 3 times, paling sedikit 3 kali dibaca itu dipahami. Kalau bisa dihafal-hafal gitu ya. Oke. Jadi intinya idiom itu sebenarnya menghafal karena kadang butuh kalau misalnya mau menginterpretasi maknanya it takes time ya. So you have to memorize it. Nah, idiom yang sering dipakai di TOEFL itu ya kayak kemarin ya saya share di grup ya. Misalnya as easy as pie, it is a piece of cake. Jadi it is a piece of cake itu a piece of cake ya sama dengan as easy as pie, artinya very easy. How about if I want to say it is raining cats and dogs? Halo? Okay, well. So the point is reading, guys, ya dibaca dan dipahami dan kalau bisa dihafal-hafal. Okay, because we have no much time to review the material, so I think we better jump to the next material. So now we're going to discuss about the strategies for the listening part B question. Yep, part B and part C, because part B and part C is just the same. Yep. Kemarin di the previous level di level sebelumnya kita sudah bahas tentang ini. So actually, I don't need to give you a longer explanations. We just need to practice a lot ya. Kita cuma butuh banyak latihan supaya pemahamannya teman-teman lebih cepat. Okay, well, in part, jadi in listening there are 3 parts, ada 3 bagian ya. Jadi part A itu short conversation, part B long conversation. Kalau short conversation satu percakapan, satu pertanyaannya. And then if it is a long conversation, percakapan yang panjang, so one conversation for 4 questions, untuk 4 pertanyaan ya. Just the same in part C. Part C itu adalah talk. Talk bisa dalam bentuk lecture atau tutorial atau announcement. Dia satu talk itu 4 questions as well. Jadi you have to have a good strategy to handle this case. Nah kemudian yang jadi permasalahan, never let the conversation finish and then you decide the answer. Jadi jangan menunggu percakapannya selesai baru membuat jawaban ya. I think in the previous level I told you that the most suitable strategy to handle part B and part C is by guessing the question ya, dengan menebak pertanyaan. Okay? Hello guys, are you listening?
Yes, Mister.
Okay, well. Nah, in part B and part C, okay, it's just the same when you are doing the part A, that if you have time, preview the answer to the listening part B and part C. Jadi kalau teman-teman punya waktu, dibaca itu jawaban dari pertanyaan di bagian B. Jadi ingat ada 4 pertanyaan, jadi teman-teman harus baca sebelum mendengarkan ya. Kenapa? Supaya teman-teman punya ide atau ada bayangan that the topic will be this one ya, supaya nanti teman-teman ada bayangan atau ada ide nanti topiknya tentang ini. Okay? And then listen carefully to the first line of the conversation. Jadi pertama tadi baca soalnya, empat soal ya, karena satu percakapan itu 4 soal, so you have to read the 4 questions, right? And then the next, listen carefully to the first line of the conversation. Jadi dengarkan baik-baik di baris pertama dari percakapan tersebut. Why? Because that is the main idea or that is the topic of the conversation. Karena topik atau main idea, ide utama daripada pembicaraan itu biasanya ada di baris pertama, sama dengan the reading. Jadi ide utama daripada bacaan itu ada di baris pertama ya. Nah, sama juga di listening. Jadi listen carefully to the first line of the conversation because the main idea is there. Nah, kemudian next, as you listen to the conversation, draw conclusion about the situations of the conversations. Jadi sementara teman-teman mendengarkan percakapannya, jangan menghayal ya. Jangan menghayal, jangan memikirkan cuciannya di rumah yang mungkin lagi hujan belum diambil ya, because it will disturb your concentration ya. Karena itu akan mengganggu konsentrasi teman-teman. Apalagi yang lagi galau, buang dulu rasa galau itu jauh-jauh, fokus di sini ya. Okay, well, and then tidak perlu juga dipikirkan bebeknya yang belum masuk kandang ya. Okay, just kidding guys. Okay, well, so as you listen to the conversation, jadi ketika teman-teman mendengarkan percakapannya, draw conclusion about the situation. Jadi buat kesimpulan tentang situasi percakapan tersebut. Jadi simpulkan who is talking, jadi siapa yang berbicara, where the conversation take place, di mana percakapan itu terjadi, and when it take place, dan kapan itu terjadi ya. Jadi teman-teman harus membayangkan itu bagaimana situasi percakapan itu ya, jadi supaya pikiran teman-teman tidak lari kemana-mana. So you have to membayangkan siapa yang berbicara, di mana dia berbicara, dan kapan dia berbicara ya. And then next, as you listen to the conversation, follow along with the answer in your textbook and try to determine the correct answer ya. Nah, kemudian ketika teman-teman mendengarkan percakapan, jadi diikuti percakapan tersebut sambil menebak jawaban daripada pertanyaan yang sudah ditebak tadi ya. Kan kita sudah sepakati bahwa di part B dan part C itu Kalau misalnya mau menunggu percakapan selesai baru kita mau menentukan jawaban, itu kadang kita lupa percakapannya. You will forget the conversation. So before you listen, jadi sebelum teman-teman dengar, guess the question, tebak pertanyaannya kira-kira apa. Jadi ketika teman-teman mendengarkan percakapannya, tentukan jawaban pada saat itu ya. Jangan menunggu percakapan selesai baru you decide the question, because saya yakin teman-teman akan melupakan percakapan yang tadi, apalagi yang lagi galau, kadang konsentrasinya selalu pudar ya, dan pasti ngomongnya tadi ngomong apa. So decide the answer when you are listening the conversations. Jadi tentukan jawaban ketika teman-teman sedang mendengarkan percakapannya, dan ingat pertanyaan pertama itu ada di awal percakapan. Pertanyaannya akan berurut. Jadi pertanyaan pertama ada di awal percakapan, pertanyaan kedua ada di selanjutnya, pertanyaan ketiga ada di selanjutnya, dan pertanyaan terakhir itu biasanya di kata-kata terakhir. Jadi jangan lewatkan kata-kata terakhir. Biasanya di situ ada pertanyaan untuk pertanyaan nomor 4. Okay? And then you should guess even if you are not sure. Jadi teman-teman harus tebak meskipun Anda tidak yakin ya. So guess even you are not sure. And the last is use any remaining time to look ahead at the answer to the questions that follow. Nah, kalau masih ada waktu, jadi baca lagi keempat pertanyaan selanjutnya. Jadi sebelum teman-teman mendengarkan, jadi baca pertanyaan selanjutnya ya. Jadi tadi kalau misalnya ketika pertanyaan itu dibacakan, jadi teman-teman tinggal mencocokkan tebakan teman-teman, apakah tebakan Anda betul atau salah. Kalau misalnya betul, maka tinggal menunggu pertanyaan selanjutnya. Kalau salah, tentukan pilihan pada saat itu. Change your answer ya kalau tebakan Anda salah. Nah, kemudian kalau ada sisa waktu yang tersisa, baca keempat pertanyaan selanjutnya ya, sebelum Anda mendengarkan percakapannya, supaya you ada ide bahwa sebentar dia akan berbicara tentang ini. Okay? For example, jadi misalnya for example, in your textbook, so you read misalnya in the airport, in the library, in the dormitory, in the travel agency. Jadi dari keempat pilihan ini kita sudah bisa menentukan pasti pertanyaannya adalah di
Where?
Di mana ya? Where the conversation probably take place. Jadi dari sini kita sudah bisa menentukan bahwa pertanyaannya adalah where. Okay? And then kemudian untuk menentukan topik, tadi saya bilang bahwa ketika Anda mendengarkan percakapan tersebut atau pembicaraan tersebut, jadi listen to the first line of the conversation. Jadi dengarkan baris pertama karena itu adalah topik. Misalnya misalnya dia bilang, you can't believe what I just got. I bet you got that new car you have always wanted. Jadi dari sini kita sudah menentukan bahwa topiknya adalah tentang
Car.
Tentang mobil baru ya. Oke, tentang mobil. Jadi biasanya pertanyaannya di baris pertama itu ada, misalnya apa yang mereka sedang bicarakan ya, atau apa yang dia akan beli. Nah, kemudian draw conclusion. Jadi ini yang tadi, jadi teman-teman harus menentukan draw conclusion about who, what, and when, and where. Jadi siapa yang berbicara, apa yang mereka bicarakan, kapan mereka berbicara, dan di mana mereka berbicara ya. Misalnya you are listening this way, why do you have so many books? I need them for my paper and on George Washington. Do you know how I can check them out? Yes, you should go downstairs to the circulation desk and fill out a card for each book. Jadi teman-teman harus menarik kesimpulan bahwa siapa yang berbicara adalah two students. Kemudian where are they? They are in the library. Kemudian what course are they discussing? American history ya. Jadi I need them for my paper on American history or George Washington. Why George Washington? Maybe it is American history. Jadi you have to listen carefully ya. Don't never think about another one. You need to focus ya, supaya you bisa dapat Oke? Nah, kemudian when you finish asking the questions or when you finish answering the questions, jadi kalau teman-teman punya waktu, baca lagi pilihan di Parsi. Nah, biasanya kan di Parsi itu sebelum Parsi ada instruksi ya, ada contoh. Nah, sebelum ketika contoh itu dibacakan, teman-teman bisa membaca keempat pilihan jawaban di Parsi. Kemudian listen carefully to the first line of the talk, dan didengarkan lagi secara seksama di baris pertama karena jawaban ada di situ ya. Nah, kemudian as you listen to the talk, draw conclusion about the situation of the talk, who is talking, where and when the talk take place, and which course this lecture might be given in. Nah, kemudian di Parsi itu biasanya ada pertanyaan which course this lecture might be given in. Jadi kira-kira ini pertanyaan cocok untuk mata kuliah apa, ya. Makanya teman-teman harus menyimaknya. Jadi Anda harus tahu siapa yang berbicara, di mana mereka berbicara, kapan mereka berbicara, dan apa yang mereka sedang bicarakan, ya. Nah, kemudian sama juga di Parbi tadi. Jadi ini adalah tip and strategi for Parsi, karena kita akan praktis nanti sekaligus. Jadi ketika teman-teman mendengarkan, jadi tadi ketika teman-teman membaca pertanyaannya, ditebak apa kira-kira pertanyaannya ya. Jadi ketika teman-teman menjawab, ya ketika teman-teman mendengarkan percakapannya atau pembicaraannya, and then you decide the answer at the time, dan ditentukan jawaban ketika Anda mendengarkan pembicaraannya atau penjelasan. Jangan menunggu pertanyaan disebutkan baru menentukan jawaban. Pasti teman-teman akan menebak-nebak di situ. Oke, kemudian you should guess, tebak meskipun Anda tidak yakin ya. Tebak apa pertanyaannya maksudnya. Kemudian use any remaining time, gunakan waktu yang tersisa untuk melihat lagi pertanyaan selanjutnya. Jadi sama tadi di Parbi. Oke, teman-teman, is it clear? Jadi kuncinya di Parbi dengan si, teman-teman harus menebak pertanyaan sebelum mendengarkan. Ketika teman-teman mendengarkan, tentukan jawaban pada saat itu. Jangan menunggu selesai percakapan atau pembicaraan dan menunggu pertanyaan dan menjawab. Teman-teman akan lupa, saya yakin itu. Apalagi yang sudah berumur 30-an ke atas ya, atau 25-an ke atas, itu memorinya sudah hampir full. Jadi untuk mengingat pembicaraan orang lain itu kadang sulit. Ya, oke. Now we're going to practice. Bisa dipahami enggak? Ibu
Bisa,
semuanya,
Pak.
bisa ya?
Bisa, Mister.
Insyaallah, insyaallah. Now let's see where the questions. Okay, before we listen, maybe we can see the question first. Okay, well, so before we practice, sebelum kita latihan, this is the example of the questions in part B. Jadi ini adalah ini pertanyaan yang kita akan bahas ya. So what you have to do from the four, jadi ada 4 pertanyaan di sini. Jadi pertanyaan number 31 until 34 ini adalah percakapan pertama. Jadi sebelum teman-teman mendengarkan percakapan daripada keempat pertanyaan ini, you have to read the question first ya. Jadi baca dulu. Can we read guys? Bisa dibaca sama-sama? A.
Okay.
Can you read? A. The haircut is unusually short.
The haircut
is
is
unusually short.
short.
Yeah, this is Bob's first haircut.
This
This is Bob's first haircut.
Bob doesn't know who gave him the haircut.
Bob
Bob
doesn't
doesn't know who gave him the haircut.
Yeah, after the haircut, Bob's hair still touches the floor.
After the haircut,
Bob's hair still touches
touch the floor.
Okay, well, 32. Coba teman, you read together. A. Bagian A, read guys.
Nomor berapa, Mister?
32. It is just what he wanted.
It is just what he wanted.
He enjoys having the latest style.
He enjoys
having the latest style.
He dislikes it immensely.
He dislikes it immensely.
He thinks it will be cool in the summer.
He thinks it will be
cool in the summer.
Okay, 33. A broken mirror.
A broken mirror.
The hairstylist.
The
The
hairstylist.
hairstylist.
The scissors used to cut his hair.
The scissors used to cut his hair.
Piles of his hair.
Piles of his hair.
Okay, you should become a hairstylist.
You should
You
become
should become a hairstylist.
Please put it back on.
Please
put it back on.
It will grow back.
It will grow back.
It won't grow back fast enough.
It won't
It
grow
won't
fast
grow
enough.
fast enough.
Oke, jadi dari keempat pilihan ini kita sudah bisa menarik kesimpulan bahwa nanti topiknya tentang
Haircut.
ya tentang haircut ya tentang rambutnya yang dipotong. Jadi kemungkinan kalau mereka berada di mana?
Di salon, barber
Salon.
Ya. In the barber shop maybe ya. Nah, let's see number 31. Nah, kira-kira what is the question for number 31? Jadi tadi kita harus menebak apa pertanyaan daripada soal tersebut. Karena kalau mau ditunggu soalnya baru kita menentukan jawaban pasti kita akan lupa. Jadi kita harus tebak pertanyaannya. The haircut is unusually short. This is Bob's first haircut. Kemudian Bob doesn't know who gave him the haircut. After the haircut, Bob's hair still touches the floor. Nah, kira-kira what is the question? Apa pertanyaannya? Number 31.
Idea bukan?
Ya?
Main idea.
Can be. Tapi kira-kira apa pertanyaannya? What, where, when, how, who, why?
Why?
What? Who?
Nah ini kan
Maybe.
jadi jadi ini kan jadi lihat jenis jawabannya ya. Jadi misalnya the haircut is unusually short. Jadi potongan rambutnya tidak potongan rambutnya tidak seperti biasanya ya, pendeknya tidak seperti biasanya. Jadi mungkin rambutnya pendek sekali. Kemudian this is Bob's first haircut. Ini adalah potong rambutnya pertama kali. Kemudian Bob doesn't know who gave him the haircut. Jadi Bob tidak tahu siapa yang memotong rambutnya. Kemudian after the haircut, setelah rambutnya dipotong, Bob's hair still touches the floor. Jadi rambutnya masih menyentuh lantai. Nah, kira-kira what is the question? Apa pertanyaannya? Apakah what, where, when, how, atau why?
How?
Ya, jadi how kira-kira bagaimana? Kalau saya tebak mungkin cocoknya kenapa ya? Mungkin
Why?
ya why. Kenapa misalnya?
Maybe why?
Atau ada apa dengan rambutnya si Bob? Ini kan dia berbicara tentang rambutnya si Bob. Jadi pasti pertanyaannya kenapa, ada apa dengan rambutnya Bob ya? Apakah rambutnya pendek sekali setelah dipotong dan tidak seperti biasanya dan dia tidak suka mungkin ya? Jadi pasti sebenarnya ada apa dengan rambutnya si Bob. Nah kemudian tertitu jadi what happened? Jadi what happened with the Bob's hair? Mungkin itu pertanyaannya. Jadi kita menebak ya, namanya juga menebak. Jadi kita berandai-andai. Kemungkinannya ini pertanyaannya. Jadi diprediksi, ditebak. Tertitu, it is just what he wanted. Kemudian he enjoy having the latest style. He dislike it immensely. Jadi he thinks it will be cool in the summer. Jadi it is just what he wanted. Jadi itu yang dia inginkan. Dia menyukai gaya yang terakhir, latest itu yang terbaru, gaya yang terbaru. Kemudian he dislike it immensely. Jadi dia tidak menyukainya sama sekali. Immensely means sama sekali ya. Kemudian he thinks it will be cool in the summer. Dia kira potongan rambutnya akan keren di musim panas ya. Nah, kira-kira apa pertanyaannya?
Bagaimana tanggapan Bob mengenai rambut barunya?
Iya. Jadi ya, bagaimana tanggapan Bob tentang rambut barunya? Mungkin atau mungkin apakah dia menyukai potongan rambutnya? Ya, atau bagaimana tanggapannya tentang potongan rambutnya? Apakah dia suka atau tidak ya? Oke, next, number 33, a broken mirror, the hairstylist, the scissors used to cut his hair, piles of his hair. Nah, kira-kira apa pertanyaannya ini? Ini kan benda ya, jadi a broken mirror, the hairstylist, the scissors, the piles itu adalah gumpalan rambut ya. Jadi pasti pertanyaannya adalah apa ya? Mungkin apa? Jadi apakah misalnya apa yang dia lihat atau apa yang dia apa yang membuat dia marah? Apakah karena cerminnya yang rusak? Apa karena tukang potong rambutnya? Apa karena guntingnya yang digunakan untuk memotong rambutnya? Atau karena gumpalan rambutnya ya? And number 34, you should become a hairstylist. Please put it back on. It will grow back and it won't grow fast enough. Nah, kira-kira apa pertanyaannya? Ini kan tanda kutip ya. Jadi ini yang diucapkan oleh si pembicara. Jadi you should become a hairstylist.
Saran untuk
ya.
Bob.
Ya, jadi apa sarannya? Kan mungkin ini dia berbicara Bob, ini antara yang berbicara adalah Bob dengan mungkin wanita ya. Jadi apa sarannya wanita itu untuk Bob? Apakah dia sebaiknya menjadi seorang tukang cukur? Apakah dia harus put it back on, mengembalikannya? Kemudian apakah dia menyarankan bahwa rambutnya akan tumbuh? Kemudian apakah dia menyarankan atau memberitahukan bahwa rambutnya tidak akan tumbuh dengan cepat. Jadi bisa apa sarannya atau apa yang dikatakan ya, apa yang dikatakan wanita tersebut kepada Bob tentang rambutnya. Jadi seperti itu. Nah, kalau misalnya sebentar ketika percakapan mulai jadi teman-teman harus sudah menentukan jawaban. Jadi ini nomor 31 pasti ada di awal percakapan. Nomor 32 ada di percakapan selanjutnya, 33 percakapan selanjutnya, 34 ini ada di percakapan terakhirnya ya, di akhir percakapannya. Jadi hati-hati di akhir percakapan itu selalu ada soal untuk nomor terakhir. Nah, ketika sudah menentukan jawaban, ketika sedang mendengarkan, maka bisa teman-teman tunggu lagi pertanyaannya, kan nanti pertanyaannya disebutkan ya, jadi tinggal teman-teman mencocokkan apakah tebakan teman-teman betul atau salah. Nah, kalau misalnya Anda sudah yakin betul, maka tidak perlu dirubah pertanyaannya. Tapi kalau Anda yakin bahwa jawaban Anda salah, tidak sesuai dengan tebakan Anda, maka tentukan jawaban yang lain. Ya, cari jawaban yang lain yang kira-kira cocok. Ya. Nah, biasanya dengan seperti itu kita akan mengingat kembali dengan percakapan yang tadi lebih mudah ya. Karena tadi kita sudah konsentrasi berpikir atau menebak ketika dia sedang berbicara. Jadi dari situ kita sudah bisa membuat kesimpulan. Nah, ketika sudah selesai semuanya, baca lagi soal selanjutnya. So you have to read question number 35. Misalnya, every evening, every week, every Sunday, every month. Nah, kira-kira apa pertanyaannya ini? Kalau jawabannya every.
When?
Iya, kapan ya? Misalnya, kapan apa? Nanti kita bisa lihat di sini. Nah, misalnya, that she was 85 years old, that a storm was coming, that she was under a great deal of pressure, that she wanted to become a weather forecaster. Nah, kira-kira sebentar ini apa topiknya ya?
Beribadah.
Ada storm. What is storm?
Badai.
Ada ya. Weather, cuaca, pressure, tekanan. Jadi ketika forecaster penebak perkiraan cuaca. Nah, kemungkinannya dia akan berbicara tentang cuaca ya, cuaca buruk mungkin ya. Nah, kalau misalnya jawabannya that she was 85 years old, that a storm was coming, that she was under a great deal of pressure, that she wanted to become a weather forecaster. Nah, kira-kira apa pertanyaannya ini? Ya. Apakah apa, kapan, di mana, bagaimana, atau kenapa? Ya, halo?
Apa kali?
Ya.
What?
Kalau jawabannya she was 80 years old, that a storm was coming, that she was under a great deal of pressure, bahwa dia berada dalam tekanan, di bawah tekanan, that she wanted to become a weather forecaster. Ya, bisa apa ya? Apa atau mungkin kenapa ya? Kenapa itu terjadi? Mungkin karena dia atau kapan atau can be ya. Ada banyak di sini pertanyaan yang bisa kita tebak. Mungkin kapan karena ada that she was 80 years old atau apa ya. How about number 37? In her bones, in her ears, in her legs, in her head. Pertanyaannya pastinya adalah di mana ya? Mungkin di mana dia merasakan sesuatu. Apakah di tulangnya, di telinganya, di kakinya, atau di kepalanya ya. And the last, call his great-grandmother less often, watch the weather forecast with his great-grandmother, help his great-grandmother relieve some of her pressure, kemudian believe his great-grandmother's prediction about the weather. Nah, kira-kira apa pertanyaannya ini?
Apa yang ia lakukan dengan grandmanya?
Iya, jadi apa yang dia akan lakukan ya dengan neneknya ya. Jadi kemungkinan dia berbicara tentang ada he di sini ya. Jadi his Oke, jadi antara laki-laki dan neneknya. Oke, now we're going to practice. Are you ready? Jadi tadi sudah kita bahas kira-kira soalnya seperti apa. Nah, setelah ini selesai, kan kita langsung masuk di parsi ya. Jadi sama dengan parsi tadi, jadi teman-teman harus menebak. Jadi ini dia bukan percakapan ya, tapi adalah pembicaraan. Jadi pembicaraan yang panjang. Nah, satu pembicaraan juga untuk 4 soal. Jadi misalnya di sini, in a car, on a hike, on a tram, in a lecture hall. Pasti pertanyaannya adalah di mana ya? Di mana mungkin mereka sedang berada atau di mana dia berbicara ya. Kemudian it means they have big ears. It means they like to swim. It means they look like crocodiles. It means they are pretending to be sad. Nah, kira-kira apa pertanyaannya?
Apa?
Ya?
Apa, Mister?
Number 40, kira-kira apa pertanyaannya?
Apa?
Ya, kalau dibilang it means, jadi apa maksud dari, kan di sini dia semuanya it means ya. Jadi pertanyaan, apa maksud daripada ini ya? Pasti apa maksud daripada ini? Apakah itu they have big tears, mereka mempunyai tears itu air mata ya, mereka mempunyai air mata yang besar. They like to swim, mereka suka berenang. They look like crocodiles, mereka nampak seperti buaya. Kemudian they are pretending to be sad, mereka berpura-pura sedih ya. Kemudian 41, they are sad, they are warming themselves, they are getting rid of salt, kemudian they regret their action. Nah, kira-kira apa pertanyaannya?
Apa yang terjadi dengan mereka?
Ya, apa yang terjadi dengan mereka ya? Jadi apakah mereka sedih? Apakah mereka menghangatkan diri mereka? Apakah mereka sedang membuang get rid itu membuang, salt itu garam ya. Mereka menyesali tindakan mereka. And the last, taking photograph, getting closer to the crocodiles, exploring the water's edge, getting up the tram.
They are sad, mereka sedih.
Jadi pertanyaannya adalah
Apa yang harus mereka lakukan?
iya, apa yang mereka harus atau apa yang mereka akan lakukan ya? Apakah mereka akan berfoto-foto? Apakah mereka akan mendekati buaya tersebut? Apakah mereka akan mengeksplorasi pinggir air? Kemudian apakah mereka akan turun dari tram? Tram itu adalah kereta api ya, kereta api biasa yang dipakai untuk jarak dekat. Tram, Donald Trump. Nah, setelah ditebak, ketika kita dengar, jadi tentukan jawaban ketika teman-teman mendengarkannya. Setelah selesai semuanya, pindah lagi di soal selanjutnya, 33, 43, 44, 45, and then kemudian di sini berbicara tentang water sport, physics, American history, and psychology. Nah, ini pasti pertanyaannya adalah
Tentang apa?
43, 43, apa pertanyaannya kira-kira? Pertanyaannya tentang apa topiknya ya? Ini topik, dia menanyakan tentang topik, apakah tentang water sport, physics, American history, atau psychology, topik atau mungkin mata kuliah apa yang mereka bahas ya. Kemudian 44, to cut, to move fast, to steer the boat, and to build a ship. Nah, kira-kira apa pertanyaannya? To cut, untuk memotong, untuk memindahkan dengan cepat, untuk menstir.
Fungsi dari sesuatu.
Iya, jadi untuk apa gunanya ya? Jadi fungsi daripada CD. Untuk apa benda ini misalnya? Apakah untuk memotong, untuk menggerakkan dengan cepat? Apakah untuk memutar perahu, atau apakah untuk membangun kapal laut ya? Nah, kemudian number 45, to bring tea from China. To transfer gold to California, to trade with the British, to sail the American River. Nah, kita pasti bisa menebak. Pertanyaannya adalah sama tadi 44. Jadi untuk
Fungsinya.
apa? Untuk apa ya? Misalnya untuk apa perahu itu, atau untuk apa? Karena dia berbicara tentang boat and ship. Jadi untuk apa perahu itu? Apakah untuk membawa teh dari Cina, untuk mentransfer emas dari California, atau untuk berdagang dengan orang Inggris, atau untuk berlayar di sistem perairan Amerika ya. Nah, kemudian you continue here, a reading assignment, a quiz on Friday, a research paper for the end of the semester, some written homework. Nah, kira-kira ini apa pertanyaannya? Reading assignment, quiz, research paper, some written homework.
Tugas apa yang diberikan oleh siswa?
Iya, jadi kira-kira pertanyaannya tugas apa ya yang diberikan kepada siswanya ya. Nah, kemudian setelah ditentukan tadi jawabannya, setelah mendengarkan dan sudah fix semuanya, dibaca lagi keempat ini dan tebak pertanyaannya, writers, actor, athlete, musicians. Nah, kira-kira apa pertanyaannya?
Apa? Siapa?
Apa atau siapa ya? Siapakah pembicara tersebut atau apa yang dibicarakan? Siapakah pembicara tersebut? Apakah dia seorang penulis, seorang aktor, seorang atlet, atau seorang musisi? Kemudian 48, he or she would see butterflies, he or she would break a leg, He or she would have shaky knees. He or she would stop breathing. Jadi si butterfly melihat kupu-kupu break a leg, merusak kakinya, mematahkan kakinya. Have shaky knees, jadi mempunyai lutut yang gemetaran. Stop breathing, jadi berhenti bernapas. Nah, kira-kira
Mati
apa
dong,
pertanyaannya ya? Apakah dia akan mati? He or she would see butterfly. Jadi pertanyaannya adalah apa
yang akan
dia lakukan ya? Apakah dia akan melihat, merusak, lututnya akan bergetar atau akan berhenti bernapas ya? Nah, ini berurut nantinya. Jadi kita bisa menebak dan menentukan jawaban. 49, by staring at the audience, by breathing shallowly, by thinking about possible negative outcomes, by focusing on what needs to be done. Jadi kira-kira pertanyaannya, kalau bagaimana ya? Jadi by staring at the audience, dengan melihat, jadi bahasanya dengan melihat ke penonton atau audience, dengan bernapas shallowly. Bernapas shallowly itu shallow itu dangkal ya, jadi bernapas dengan dangkal. Bagaimana maksudnya?
berarti pelan ya?
Ya, bernapas dengan pelan ya. By thinking about possible negative outcome, dengan memikirkan kemungkinan dampak negatifnya ya. Kemudian by focusing on what needs to be done, dengan memfokuskan apa yang perlu dilakukan. Jadi pasti pertanyaannya bagaimana sesuatu ya. Nah, kalau terakhir at 2 o'clock, at 4, at 6, and at 8 pasti pertanyaannya
Jam berapa?
Jam berapa ya? Jam berapa sesuatu ya? So that's it. Jadi itu saja. Jadi pertanyaannya jadi apa yang mau ditebak sini, apa, bagaimana, siapa, kenapa ya? This it guys. Nah, baru itu dengarkan dan tebak pertanyaannya. Oke? It's easy ya. Teorinya mudah. Okay, now let's practice. Yeah, ready? So complete test 1 part B and part C ya.
Ready, Mister.
The audio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make any necessary adjustments in the volume.
With her often? I try to call her at least once a week. She's a really wonderful woman, and she's over 85 years old.
I don't think so. It's a lot shorter. When I look in the mirror, I don't even know who's looking.
Or turn the pages while the directions for this part are being read.
Jelas suaranya Ibu?
Part B. Directions. In this part of the test,
Jelas
you
suaranya?
will hear longer conversations.
Jelas ya?
After each
Okay,
conversation,
Part
you will
B.
Jelas,
hear
Mister.
several questions.
Ya.
The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Remember, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Now we will begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 through 34. Listen as a man and woman discuss a haircut.
Hi, Bob. Your hair looks nice. It's a bit shorter than usual, isn't it?
A bit shorter? I don't think so. It's a lot shorter. When I look in the mirror, I don't even know who's looking back at me.
So you got your hair cut, but you didn't get the haircut that you wanted.
This is not even close to the haircut that I wanted. I asked to have my hair trimmed just a little bit, and the hairstylist really went to town. When I looked down at the floor, there were piles of hair, my hair, on the floor. I couldn't believe it.
Well, what did you say to the hairstylist?
What could I say? The hair was already cut off. I couldn't exactly say, please put it back on, although that's exactly what I did want to say.
Well, at least your hair'll grow back soon.
That's what everyone is saying to me. It'll grow back. It'll grow back. But it won't grow fast enough to make me happy.
Maybe after you get used to it, you'll like it a bit more.
Number 31. What seems to be true about Bob's haircut? Number 32. How does Bob seem to feel about his haircut? Number 33. What did Bob see on the floor? Number 34. What do people keep saying to Bob? Questions 35 through 38. Listen to a conversation about a man's great-grandmother.
I talked to my great-grandmother on the phone this morning.
Your great-grandmother? You talk with her often?
I try to call her at least once a week. She's a really wonderful woman, and she's over 85 years old. I enjoy talking to her because she's so understanding and because she gives me good advice.
What advice did she have for you today?
She told me to be careful because a big storm is coming.
She said that a big storm is coming? Is she a weather forecaster?
Not exactly. She says that she can feel it in her bones when a storm is coming. I know it sounds funny, but when she feels it in her bones that a storm is coming, she's usually right.
That's not actually so funny. When people get older, the tissue around their joints can become stiff and swollen. Just before a storm, the air pressure often drops, and this drop in air pressure can cause additional pressure and pain in swollen joints. So when your great-grandmother tells you she thinks a storm is coming, she probably has some aching in her joints from the decreasing air pressure.
Then I had better pay more attention to my great-grandmother's weather forecasts.
Number 35. How often does the man usually talk to his great-grandmother? Number 36. What did the man's great-grandmother tell him on the phone this morning? Number 37. Where does the man's great-grandmother say that she feels a storm coming? Number 38. What will the man probably do in the future? This is the end of Part B. Go on to the next page. Now, read along with me as I read the directions for Part C. Remember, you should not read ahead or turn the pages while the directions for this part are being read. Part C. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear several talks. Art from the Central Region book you will read with the first talk. Questions 39 through 42. Listen to a talk by a tour guide in the Everglades National Park.
Today we're going to be taking a tram tour through part of the Everglades National Park. Quite probably we'll be seeing a number of crocodiles sunning themselves by the side of the water or poking their heads up through the water. Needless to say, we will not be getting off the tram at any time until we leave the area because of the danger posed by the crocodiles. By the way, you've probably heard of the expression, crying crocodile tears. It is common to say that someone is crying crocodile tears when he or she is pretending to be sad or full of regret. Crocodiles always appear to have tears in their eyes, but they are not crying because of sadness or even pretended sadness. Instead, a crocodile uses its tear ducts to get rid of extra salt from its body. A crocodile does not sweat the same way that humans do and must get rid of extra salt through tears. So if you see a crying crocodile, do not think that it's feeling sad. It is basically sweating through its eyes. Look, over there on the right. There are two large crocodiles on the water's edge, right next to the fallen trees. You can get out your cameras and take pictures from here on the tram, but no, you cannot get off the tram to get any closer.
Number 39. Where does this talk take place? Number 40. What does the expression crying crocodile tears mean when it is used to describe humans? Number 41. Why do crocodiles have tears in their eyes? Number 42. What does the tour guide recommend? Questions 43 through 46. Listen to the following lecture by a university professor.
Please take your seats now because I would like to begin today's lecture. Today, we will be discussing one of the more elegant and distinct forms of 19th century transportation, the clipper ship. Clipper ships of the 19th century were the graceful, multi-sailed, ocean-going vessels that were designed for maximum speed. They were given the name clipper ship in reference to the fact that they clipped along at such a fast rate of speed. Clipper ships were constructed with a large number of sails in order to maximize their speed. They often had 6 to 8 sails on each of the masts, and ships commonly had 3 and perhaps 4 masts. The speeds that they achieved were unbelievably fast for the era. Clipper ships could, for example, accomplish the amazing feat of traveling from New York to San Francisco in less than 100 days. Clipper ships first came into use in the United States in the 1840s. They were originally intended to make the trip from New York around the tip of South America and on to China in order to transport tea to the United States. Once gold was discovered in California in 1848, clipper ships were immediately put into use to carry large numbers of gold prospectors and large amounts of mining supplies from the East Coast to California. With the success of the American clipper ships, the British began their own fleet of clipper ships to transport goods from the far reaches of the British Empire. That's all for today's class. Don't forget that there's a written assignment due on Friday.
Number 43. In which course would this lecture most probably be given? Number 44. What is the most likely meaning of the expression to clip along? Number 45. What were clipper ships first used for in the United States? Number 46. What does the professor remind the students about? Questions 47 through 50. Listen to the following talk by a drama coach to a group of actors.
I know that some of you are feeling more than a little nervous about tonight's performance, and I want you to understand that this is quite a natural feeling. You are going to be on stage in front of a lot of people tonight, and it's normal to be experiencing some nerves. I would like to help you to understand these feelings and not let them interfere with your performance. What you are experiencing is called stage fright. Stage fright is the fear that develops before you give a performance in front of an audience. Stage fright is not experienced just by actors and actresses. It can also be experienced by musicians, athletes, teachers, anyone who performs in front of a group of people. It occurs before a performance when a performer is concerned about looking foolish in front of others. Just before tonight's performance, if you're feeling a bit tense, if your knees are shaking, if your stomach has butterflies in it, and if you are thinking about how bad your performance could be, then you have a major case of stage fright. To control stage fright, you can work to control both the physical reactions and the negative thoughts. To combat the physical reactions, you can try techniques such as deep breathing, muscle relaxation, or even just laughing to relieve some of the pressure. To combat the negative thoughts, you should force yourself to focus on what you have to do, rather than on what other people are going to think. That's all I have to say for now. I'll see you back here at 6 o'clock, because the performance starts at 8 o'clock. Just remember that if you begin to feel at all nervous, try some deep breathing to relax, and focus your thoughts on the performance that you are about to give. See you this evening.
Number 47. Who would probably not experience stage fright in their work? Number 48. What physical reaction might someone who is experiencing stage fright commonly have? Number 49. How can someone combat the negative thoughts associated with stage fright? Number 50. When should the actors arrive at the theater?
Okay, guys, done? Hello?
Dan, Mister.
Okay.
Okay, now let's see your answer, yeah? So now let's talk about Bob's haircut.
Or turn the pages while the directions for this part are being read. Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, now we will begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions?
Yeah, so number 31, guys, what is your answer? So the question is, what is the question for 31? The question is, what seems to be true about Bob's haircut? Jadi ada apa dengan potongan rambutnya si Bob? What is your answer, guys?
Alpha,
Yeah?
Alpha, Mister.
What is it? Okay, well, others yang lain? Okay, let's listen ya. Apakah Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, ada yang punya jawaban lain selain Alpha?
Charlie.
Charlie, Bob doesn't know who gave him the haircut. Jadi Bob tidak tahu siapa yang memotong rambutnya. Oke, well. Yang lain? Oke, let's try to listen ya. Coba kita dengar ya. Ya.
31 through 34. Listen as a man and woman discuss a haircut.
Hi, Bob. Your hair looks nice. It's a bit shorter than usual, isn't it?
A bit shorter? I don't think so. It's a lot shorter. When I look in
Ya, jadi it is a lot shorter. Jadi it is a little bit shorter than usual. Bilang no, but it is a lot shorter than usual. Berarti dia rambutnya bagaimana?
Pendek.
Ya, rambutnya pendek, tidak seperti biasanya. Jadi pendek sekali atau pendek aja?
Pendek sekali.
Pendek sekali ya. Jadi dia marah-marah karena potongan rambutnya pendek sekali. Jadi the answer is Alpha ya. Jadi the haircut is unusually short. Jadi rambutnya pendek sekali ya. Jadi unusually short, pendek sekali, tidak seperti biasanya ya. Okay, number 32. The question is, how does Bob seems to feel about his haircut? Jadi bagaimana perasaannya tentang potongan rambutnya? Apakah dia senang atau tidak senang?
Enggak senang.
Enggak senang ya. Oke. Jadi yang mana itu tidak senang?
Charlie.
Charlie ya. Oke, let's kita dengar kenapa dia tidak
the
senang.
mirror, I don't even know who's looking back at me.
So you got your hair cut, but you didn't get the haircut that you wanted.
This is not even close to the haircut that I wanted. I asked to have my hair trimmed just a little bit, and the hairstylist really went to town.
Ya, jadi dia tidak suka ya dari ekspresinya, dia marah-marah. Jadi dari situ kita sudah bisa menyimpulkan bahwa dia sangat tidak suka dengan potongan rambutnya ya. So the answer is Charlie. How about number 33? What did Bob see on the floor? Apa yang dia lihat di lantai?
Delta.
Delta ya. Jadi yang lain? Pile of his hair. Jadi gumpalan rambutnya. Coba kita dengarkan. Di mana jawabannya?
I looked down at the floor, there were piles of hair.
Ya, jadi when I look down on the floor, there were pile of hairs. Jadi gumpalan rambutnya ya terlalu banyak dipotong. And then the last one, what did people keep saying to Bob? Apa yang orang terus-terus katakan kepada Bob?
Charlie.
Charlie ya, it will grow back, it will grow back, it will grow back. Ya, kita dengar ya.
Hair on the floor. I couldn't believe it.
Well, what did you say to the hairstylist?
What could I say? The hair was already cut off. I couldn't exactly say, please put it back on, although that's exactly what I did want to say.
Well, at least your hair'll grow back soon.
That's what everyone is saying to me. It'll grow back, it'll grow back. But it won't grow fast enough to make me happy.
Maybe after you get used to it, you'll like it a bit more.
Iya ya, jadi it will grow back, it will grow back ya. Itu yang setiap orang katakan kepada dia ya. Kayaknya ini part B lebih gampang ya dengan part A-nya, guys. Kalian jawabannya benar semua. Ya?
Iya, lebih gampang daripada part A.
Oke, Wak. Ya pada dasarnya part B dengan part C itu gampang, cuman yang bikin panik biasanya karena 4 pertanyaan 1 percakapan. Ketika kita harus mendengarkan baru menjawab dulu, kelihatannya di situlah biasanya yang muncul masalah. Tapi ketika kita menebak, maka kita bisa mencari jawaban yang lebih bagus ya. Now, let's try the next conversation.
Number 31. What seems to be true about Bob's...
With her often?
I try to call her at least once a week.
Ini tentang apa ya? Tentang
Number 33. What did Bob see on the floor? Listen to a conversation about a man's great-grandmother.
I talked to my great-grandmother.
Ya, jadi the first question is 35 guys. How often does the man usually talk to his great-grandmother? Seberapa sering dia menelpon kakeknya? Nenek buyut, nenek buyutnya. Great grandmother means nenek buyut. So how often, guys? What is your answer?
Once a week.
Every week.
Every week. Coba kita dengar why every week.
Mother on the phone this morning.
Your great-grandmother? You talk with her often?
I try to call her at least once a week.
Ya, jadi I try to call her at least once a week. Jadi satu kali dalam seminggu, berarti dia berbicara setiap minggu ya. Jadi every week.
Sunday.
No, every Sunday.
Every Sunday, Mister. Kan
Ya?
once a week, Mister.
Every week.
Dia bilang once in a week.
Yes, sekali seminggu kan? Bukan setiap, Mister.
Sekali seminggu berarti setiap minggu maksudnya ya. Kalau week itu bukan hari Minggu. Kalau di sini dia bilang every Sunday. Dia tidak bilang setiap hari Minggu, tapi sekali seminggu. Berarti
just
every
same meaning.
ya?
Berarti artinya sama, Mister. Every week dengan once a week gitu.
Iya sama maksudnya. Tapi kalau every Sunday itu tidak sama karena dia tidak every week itu bisa hari Senin, hari Selasa, hari Rabu ya jelas once in a week, satu kali dalam seminggu ya. Jadi berarti every week, setiap minggu. Setiap minggu maksudnya bukan setiap hari Minggu. Setiap minggu sama dengan once in a week. Kalau setiap minggu artinya setiap hari Minggu, dia tidak mengatakan hari Minggu ya. Yang jelas dia mengatakan once in a week. Once in a week itu bisa saja hari Senin, Selasa, Rabu, Kamis, Jumat, Sabtu ya.
Oke.
Okay, so the answer is every week. Okay, Pak. How about number 36? 36, the question is, what did the man's great-grandmother told him this morning? Jadi apa yang dia beritahu kepada dia? Apa yang neneknya beritahu kepada dia?
Delta.
Delta? That bahwa she wanted to become a weather forecaster, bahwa dia mau menjadi weather forecaster, pembawa pembawa berita
peramal cuaca.
Orang yang memperkirakan cuaca, apa namanya? What is the Indonesian weather forecaster?
Peramal cuaca bukan?
Ya, peramal cuaca. Aduh. Peramal cuaca ya. Yang lain ada jawaban lain?
Delta semua, Mister.
Delta semua. Coba kita dengar ya, listen carefully.
She's a really wonderful woman, and she's over 85 years old. I enjoy talking to her because she's so understanding and because she gives me good advice.
What advice did she have for you today?
She told me to be careful because a big storm is coming.
Ya, jadi she told me to be careful because a big storm is coming. That's the answer. Jadi dia memberitahu saya untuk berhati-hati karena a big storm is coming. Jadi sebuah badai yang besar akan datang. Ya. So the answer is Bravo. That a storm was coming. Bahwa badai akan datang ya, was coming. Okay, well. How about number 37? Jadi where does the woman's great-grandmother say that what is the question? So 37, let me see. So what does the great-grandmother feel that a great storm is coming? Jadi apa yang neneknya rasakan bahwa badai akan datang? What is your answer?
Alpha.
Ya, pertanyaannya what atau where? Jadi in her bones, in her ears. Okay, well, let's see. In her bones ya. Maksudnya di mana dia merasakan bahwa tanda-tanda bahwa badai akan datang ya. Okay, let's see.
She said that a big storm is coming? Is she a weather forecaster?
Not exactly. She says that she can feel it in her bones when a storm is coming.
Ya, jadi she can feel on her bones that a big storm is coming. Ya, jadi dia bisa merasakan di tulangnya bahwa badai akan datang. Ibu-ibu tidak percaya dengan ini. Katanya kalau misalnya nyeri-nyeri tulang kita itu tulang-tulang kita nyeri itu bertanda bahwa badai akan datang. Okay, well, how about number 36? The question is, sorry, 38. What will the man do in the future? Your answer is?
Delta.
Delta, yeah. Why Delta? Let's listen.
I know it sounds funny, but when she feels it in her bones that a storm is coming, she's usually right.
That's not actually so funny. When people get older, the tissue around their joints can become stiff and swollen. Just before a storm, the air pressure often drops, and this drop in air pressure can cause additional pressure and pain in swollen joints. So when your great-grandmother tells you she thinks a storm is coming, she probably has some aching in her joints from the decreasing air pressure.
Then I had better pay more attention to my great-grandmother's weather forecasts.
Number 35.
Ya, so the answer is berapa? Jadi I will believe what my grandmother said. Ya, dia akan percaya apa yang dikatakan oleh neneknya. Kalian juga percaya enggak apa yang dikatakan si neneknya ini?
Tidak, Mister.
Tapi katanya seperti ini, ketika tekanan udara itu menurun, maka akan muncul badai yang besar. Nah, ketika tekanan udara itu turun, maka biasanya kalau orang yang sudah berumur itu, maka dia akan merasakan nyeri-nyeri pada persendiannya. Nah, itu rasa nyeri itu dipengaruhi oleh tekanan udara, dan itu juga merupakan tanda bahwa akan ada badai yang datang. Jadi ini bisa benar, bisa tidak ya. Okay, well. Now let's move on to part C. Jadi yang tadi berapa dari how many question? 8 question guys. How many correct answer? Yang salah cuma 1 ya?
9.
Iya.
9. Okay, very good, excellent, good job. Kayaknya hari ini sudah galaunya hilang ya. Kemarin pada galau semua, entah kenapa. Okay, well, now we will move to part C. Okay, so you will do the same thing that guess before you listen. Okay, wait.
How often does the man use for part C? Remember, you should not read ahead or turn the pages while the directions for this part are being read. Part C.
One of his paintings received a remarkable amount of
Art from of Wood's most successful painting
elves by the side of the water, or poking their heads up through
of Wood's most successful painting is C, American Gothic. Therefore, the correct choice is C. Remember, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Now we will begin part C with the first talk. Questions 39 through 42.
Ya, oke. Jadi 39 to 42. Jadi question number 1, where does this talk take place? Jadi di mana percakapan ini terjadi? What is your answer, guys?
Charlie.
Ya?
On a tram.
On a tram, ya. What is tram?
Kereta api.
Kereta api ya.
Kata Mr. Sam.
Oke. Kayak misalnya ya kereta api untuk satu arah untuk jarak dekat. Jadi this a tram means. Well, jadi on a tram ya, kita dengar why.
Listen to a talk by a tour guide in the Everglades National Park.
Today we're going to be taking a tram tour through part of the
Yeah,
Everglades.
we're going to take a tram tour. Tram tour. Jadi perjalanan dengan menggunakan kereta api yang untuk keliling-keliling di satu tempat ya. Jadi pastinya kita sudah bisa memprediksi bahwa dia berbicara di atas kereta tersebut ya. Jadi on a tram. How about number 40? The question is, what does the expression crying crocodile tear mean? Apa itu? Mungkin ibu-ibu sering dengar ini, crying crocodile tear. Jadi air mata buaya. What does it mean? Kenapa kalau misalnya ada laki-laki yang menangis dibilangi air mata buaya? Atau ada misalnya orang yang menangis pura-pura disebut sebagai air mata buaya.
Pura-pura sedih.
ya pura-pura sedih gitu dibilang air mata buaya. Tahu nggak bagaimana sejarahnya?
Nggak tahu, Mister.
Ini tadi diceritakan di sini. Jadi what does the expression crying crocodile tear means? Jadi apa kira-kira makna dari kata air mata buaya di sini? Apa maknanya? Kalau dianalogikan dengan manusia. Ya, what is your answer number 40?
Delta.
Delta ya? Ya, oke, well. Kayaknya ibu-ibu ini sudah pengalaman dengan air mata buaya ya. Oke, well, jadi it means they are pretending to be sad. Jadi mereka pura-pura sedih ya. Kenapa kira-kira? Kenapa kalau buaya menangis itu dikategorikan, kenapa dia pura-pura sedih? Oke, let's listen ya, kita dengar ya.
National Park. Quite probably we'll be seeing a number of crocodiles sunning themselves by the side of the water or poking their heads up through the water. Needless to say, we will not be getting off the tram at any time until we leave the area because of the danger posed by the crocodiles. By the way, you've probably heard of the expression crying crocodile tears. It is common to say that someone is crying crocodile tears when he or she is pretending to be sad or full of regret.
Ya, jadi when he is pretending to be sad or fully regret, ya. Jadi the answer is delta. How about number 41? 41, the question is, why do crocodiles have tears in their eyes? Kenapa katanya buaya itu menangis?
Membuang garam di matanya.
Iya, jadi membuang garam di matanya ya. Jadi makanya kalau orang mengatakan air mata buaya itu berarti dia pura-pura sedih karena dia sebenarnya tidak sedih tapi dia ternyata membuang garam yang ada di matanya supaya mungkin matanya tidak pedih atau tidak gatal ya. Coba kita listen kenapa the answer is Charlie, they are getting rid of salt ya. Jadi get rid itu artinya membuang, salt garam.
Crocodiles always appear to have tears in their eyes, but they are not crying because of sadness or even pretended sadness. Instead, a crocodile uses its tear ducts to get rid of extra salt from its body.
Ya, to get rid of extra salt from his body. Jadi untuk membuang air garam atau garam yang ada di badannya, yang kan kalau misalnya laut itu kan airnya jadi garam ya kalau lama-lama, jadi pasti dia di matanya itu jadi kasar itu garam, jadi mungkin membuat matanya gatal atau sehingga dia harus membuang garam tersebut dengan mengeluarkan air mata. Jadi bukan dia karena sedih ya. Okay, that's great guys. How about number 42. What does the tour guide recommend? What is your answer?
Alpha.
Taking photographs or Delta getting off the tram? Coba kita dengar ya, pasti ini terakhir dia jelaskan.
A crocodile does not sweat the same way that humans do and must get rid of extra salt through tears. So if you see a crying crocodile, do not think that it's feeling sad. It is basically sweating through its eyes. Look, over there on the right. There are two large crocodiles on the water's edge, right next to the fallen trees. You can get out your cameras and take pictures from here on the tram, but
yeah,
no.
So you can get out of your camera and take pictures of them from here. Jadi syaratnya adalah untuk berfoto-foto, take photograph. Dia suruh ambil kameranya ya. So the answer is Alpha.
Mister, 41 tadi Charlie ya?
Ya. Charlie 41 Charlie, they are getting rid of salt. Jadi get rid itu artinya membuang ya. Get rid of salt. Jadi membuang garam. Okay, next number.
Oh, you cannot get off the tram to get any
43.
closer.
Number 39. Where does this talk take place? Sir.
Please take your seats now because I would like to begin today's lesson. We're designed for maximum speed.
Sir.
Please take your seats now because I would...
Number 42. What does the tour guide recommend? questions 43 through 46. Listen to the
Yeah.
following lecture by a university professor.
Okay, well, so 43, the question is, in which course this talk will be given? Kira-kira percakapan ini, pembicaraan ini cocok untuk mata kuliah apa?
Alpha.
Ya,
Charlie.
water sports or American history? Ada yang Alpha, ada yang Charlie. Coba kita dengar ya.
Please take your seats now because I would like to begin today's lecture. Today, we will be discussing one of the more elegant and distinct forms of 19th century transportation, the clipper.
Ya, jadi 19th century transportations, the clipper ship. Jadi ini adalah dia berbicara tentang 1903. Berarti dia sejarah ya. Jadi dia bercerita tentang American history, ya. Sejarahnya American history. The clipper ship.
Sejarahnya Amerika.
Okay, well, next 44. What is the meaning of the expression to clip along? What's the meaning to clip along?
Move fast.
To move fast. Okay, well, kita dengarkan ya. Apa maksudnya clip along?
Clipper ships of the 19th century were the graceful, multi-sailed, ocean-going vessels that were designed for maximum speed. They were given the name clipper ship.
Ya, jadi for maximum speed. Jadi they were designed for maximum speed. Jadi yang disebut dengan the clipper ship atau to clip along ya. Jadi artinya to move fast. Okay. Well, untuk bergerak dengan cepat ya, to clip along.
Reference to the fact that they clipped along at such a fast rate of speed.
Yeah, to clip along as a just way of speed, yeah. Well, it's a fast way to speed, sebagai jalan yang cepat untuk berjalan. Okay, next 45. The question is, what was clipper ship used for in USA? Jadi untuk apa clipper ship itu digunakan? To? Hello? 45?
To transport maybe.
To transport, untuk mentransport emas ke California. Yang lain? Delta, to sail the American river system. Jadi untuk berlayar di sungai Amerika. Yang lain? Coba kita dengarkan ya, what is the answer?
Clipper ships were constructed with a large number of sails in order to maximize their speed. They often had 6 to 8 sails on each of the masts, and ships commonly had 3 and perhaps 4 masts. The speeds that they achieved were unbelievably fast for the era. Clipper ships could, for example, accomplish the amazing feat of traveling from New York to San Francisco in less than 100 days. Clipper ships first came into use in the United States in the 1840s. They were originally intended to make the trip from New York around the tip of South America and on to China in order to transport tea to the United States.
Yeah, in order to transport tea to the United States from China. Jadi the answer is
To bring tea from
China. Ya, jadi kan pertanyaannya tadi, what was the clipper ship used for in United States? Ya, jadi apa untuk apa digunakan clipper ship itu di Amerika? Jadi jawabannya ini tadi untuk mentransport tea from China. Yeah. Okay, how about number 46? What does the professor remind the students about? Apa yang diingatkan oleh dosennya kepada mahasiswanya? Bravo? A quiz on Friday? Delta, some written homework? Coba kita dengarkan ya.
Once gold was discovered in California in 1848, clipper ships were immediately put into use to carry large numbers of gold prospectors and large amounts of mining supplies from the East Coast to California. With the success of the American clipper ships, the British began their own fleet of clipper ships to transport goods from the far reaches of the British Empire. That's all for today's class. Don't forget that there's a written assignment due on Friday.
Yeah, don't forget that there is a written assignment which due on Friday. Jadi written assignment. Apa itu? Written assignment.
Nulis.
Tugas menulis ya. Jadi written homework. Okay, well. Now the last
Delta,
one.
Mister.
Delta ya. The answer is delta ya. Now 47.
Number 43. In questions 47 through 50.
Yeah, okay. 47. Who would probably not experiencing stage pride? Apa itu stage pride? Jadi apa ya? Gugup ya, nervous ya. Demam panggung jadi stage pride ya. The stage pride is demam panggung. Jadi who would probably not experiencing a stage pride? Jadi siapa yang tidak mengalami demam panggung?
Alpha.
Writers, actor, athletes, or musicians. Jadi answer is
Alpha.
Alpha ya, writers. Masa juga penulis demam panggung? Kan nggak mungkin ya. Oke weh.
Tidak.
And then 48. So the answer is Alpha ya. 48.
Yes.
What physical reactions people experience? Jadi bagaimana reaksi fisiknya orang-orang yang mengalami stage fright?
Si butterfly.
Charlie.
Apakah dia melihat kupu-kupu atau lututnya gemetaran?
Bravo.
The answer is Bravo. He or she
No.
relax. Jadi
Charlie.
kakinya patah katanya kalau ini. Masa kakinya patah? Coba kita dengar ya.
Listen to the following talk by a drama coach to a group of actors.
Yeah.
I know that some of you are feeling more than a little nervous about tonight's performance. And I want you to understand that this is quite a natural feeling. You are going to be on stage in front of a lot of people tonight, and it's normal to be experiencing some nerves. I would like to help you to understand these feelings and not let them interfere with your performance. What you are experiencing is called stage fright. Stage fright is the fear that develops before you give a performance in front of an audience. Stage fright is not experienced just by actors and actresses. It can also be experienced by musicians, athletes, teachers, anyone who performs in front of a group of people. It occurs before a performance when a performer is concerned about looking foolish in front of others. Just before tonight's performance, if you're feeling a bit tense, if your knees are shaking,
if your knee is shaking, jadi ketika lututmu gemetaran, jadi itu reaksinya yang dirasakan orang ketika demam panggung ya. Okay, well, and then the next is how can someone combat the what was the question? Let me. How someone come back to associate the stage fright? 47, 49.
49.
So by what?
Delta.
Jadi bagaimana orang mengembalikan konsentrasinya ketika orang mengalami apa namanya demam panggung ya. Jadi the answer is delta ya, by focusing on what needs to be done. Jadi fokus di pekerjaannya ya. Jadi jangan pikirkan yang lain, tidak perlu pedulikan dengan audience. And the last one 50, jam berapa? What time should
6.
So when should the actor arrive at the theater? Jadi kapan semestinya aktornya atau bintang filmnya tiba di teater?
6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock ya, jam 8 ya. Coba kita
stomach has
kembali.
butterflies in it. And if you are thinking about how bad your performance could be, then you have a major case of stage fright. To control stage fright, you can work to control both the physical reactions and the negative thoughts. To combat the physical reactions, you can try techniques such as deep breathing, muscle relaxation, or even just laughing to relieve some of the pressure. To combat the negative thoughts, you should force yourself to focus on what you have to do
Yeah,
rather
this
than
is
on
for
what other
negative
people are
thought,
going
yeah.
to think. That's all I have to say for now. I'll see you back here at 6 o'clock because the
Yeah,
performance
6
starts at 8 o'clock.
o'clock. Yeah, okay, well.
Yes.
So when should the actor arrive? So at 6 o'clock, yeah, Charlie. Okay, guys, how many correct answer from the 20 questions dari 20 pertanyaan? Cuma 2 yang salah ya? Yes, only 2 wrong answer, right? How many correct answer, guys?
17, Mister.
Ya? 17 ya, berarti cuma 3 yang salah. Alhamdulillah ya. Yang lain? Benar semua 20 ya?
Wow, same.
Sama 17 benar?
That's right, Mister.
Okay, that's great ya. Yeah, I think we just cannot continue, guys, because we don't have much time. I think we still need maybe one more time to discuss about complete test 2 and 3. Yeah. Okay, well. Maybe we will continue the materials next week on Monday. And tomorrow I'm going to give you maybe, let's say, a post test. I will just send the materials in the group, but there is no Zoom meeting yet. So you will have an independent, not really post test, maybe only a practice test tomorrow. So you can do it anytime, but you need to report about the result, maybe in the group. Okay, guys, before we dismiss the class, any question? Ada yang mau ditanyakan? No? Thank you. No question ya? Are you sure? Ibu Nurfida, any question?
No.
Homework, any homework?
Jangan, besok ujian dulu, jangan.
Tidak usah Ibu. Nanti kita sekalian praktis satu kali lagi untuk par B dengan C untuk complete test 2 dengan 3 ya on Monday. Tapi besok saya kasih praktis atau mungkin post test sekalian untuk listening par A, B, and C. Tapi kita nanti akan bahas lagi satu kali yang par B and C complete test 3 and 4 ya. 2 and 3. Okay, guys. I think that's it for today, and we'll meet again on Monday. Tomorrow, I will just give you independent practice, so you will just practice on your own. You can practice it anytime, but you need to report the results in the group. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Again, thank you for joining the class today. See you on Monday, and have a nice weekend for tomorrow. Yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mister.
Thank you, Mister.
Yeah, have a nice weekend ya.
Kakak Pati,
Have fun.
dadah.